Alright, so in this video, I'm going to teach you how to deal with this problem of feeling awkward and stiff in your body, of feeling really physically uncomfortable in social situations. So this is something that I actually have a lot of experience with, a lot of unfortunate experience. This is constantly happening to me. So to give you a recent example, I'm attending this morning meeting at work, and the reason I'm here is because this is a new team of people that I might be joining in the coming months. So I'm just here to introduce myself to everyone, to present a little bit about me and tell them what I'm interested in working on. And this is already quite uncomfortable for me because I don't know anyone here. Like, my anxiety is already at a pretty high level. And it gets even worse when the meeting starts, because if you imagine we're all sitting around this table, there's a bunch of people, none of them that I know. And then they're all taking turns one by one, working their way around the table, introducing themselves and telling me a little bit about them. But I'm sitting there with the knowledge that I'm going to be the last one to talk. Like, eventually I'm going to have to say something about me, and I'm going to have to do all this like presenting. And there's always like the expectation for the last person who talks to be the best or something like that. So I'm sitting there with this feeling of dread starting to build up in me. I'm like trying to memorize a script in my head for what I'm going to say, but I'm totally failing. I kind of just know that I'm going to fuck this up, that I'm going to make a complete fool out of myself. And that really triggers these symptoms of physical anxiety in me. Because when I get anxious, my body starts to really stiffen up, like particularly in my neck and my arms. They just become really rigid and like a robot, like I can't move them properly. And I get these weird like tics or like spasms in my neck, like when my head just like moves uncontrollably sometimes. I'd say that's kind of me, my body fighting against these symptoms, like trying to look as normal as I can, even though I just feel super anxious and uncomfortable inside. It's like I'm fighting against it. And this happens to me a lot in pretty much any social situation where I'm meeting someone new or I want to make a good impression. And it's tough because it's like why can't I just relax and act normal and just show them the ideal version of me, the version that I am when I'm around my friends and I'm very comfortable expressing myself and I'm very calm and I don't have much anxiety. It just gets me down because I consume so much energy just trying to act normal. Like, I feel like everyone's watching me and they're noticing my stiffness and how weird I'm acting, and it's just so draining. Like, it really takes you out of the present moment. It just takes all the fun out of social situations, and it's gotten in the way of me making friends in the past because either I come across as just really socially awkward or sometimes like I'm disinterested in the other person. So it's kind of really held me back in my social life in the past. But yeah, so everyone at this table has finally finished introducing themselves to me, and I know it's my turn to speak, and I've just got this absolute pit feeling in my stomach. I'm dreading this. And the manager, he's treating it like it's some fun thing. He says, "Okay, Tom, take it away." And bro, my anxiety is at an all-time high. My chest is super fucking tight. I open my mouth to talk and I'm just like squeaking my words out. And the entire room is silent, like everyone's listening to me. And I'm just super in my own head, like over-analyzing every word that comes out of my mouth. And that's when I can like fully feel myself turning red in the face. But then something happens, and it's this guy who's sitting a couple of seats away from me. He just makes a joke in response to something that I said. I don't remember exactly what it was I was talking about. And he wasn't like roasting me or being disrespectful. He just makes a joke. And everyone in the room starts laughing. And I'm laughing too, because I can just feel the tension in the room immediately start to lift. Like, the mood in here was so serious before. It was so intense. It was making it impossible for me to even get a word out. But suddenly, all of that tension has just been relieved. Suddenly, it's like 10 times more lighthearted in here, and I feel so much better. My body is just so much more relaxed And seconds later, like I'm able to continue talking as if nothing had ever happened. Like I'm back to my usual self, who was actually quite comfortable and a confident speaker, and I'm able to continue and like deliver the rest of this mini presentation as if nothing had ever happened. And after this, I'm thinking about that, and it's like in the space of a few seconds, I went from feeling like the whole room was judging me and really struggling to even get a single word out, to it feeling like I was just addressing a room full of friends or people that I'd known for ages who weren't going to judge me. And it was in that moment that I realized the power of humor and making jokes for diffusing awkwardness and tension, because especially that feeling of stiffness and just feeling really uncomfortable in your own body, the anxiety that causes that comes from wanting to be perfect, or feeling like if you're not perfect, not only in what you say but how you act, that everyone is going to judge you, or if you make a mistake then it's going to cost you your life, or everyone's just going to laugh at you. Like imagine how stressful and tense your body would feel if you don't think that you're going to be able to get away with making a single mistake. Like you're going to be in a constant state of stress and paranoia and anxiety. You know, the stakes feel super fucking high. But when you make jokes, when you allow yourself to just laugh a little bit more, that almost flips it on its head. Like suddenly it's not this super high stakes serious thing anymore. Now it's actually, I can get away with not being so perfect, and I'm not going to be judged for it. So what I'm practicing right now, and you can practice this as well, is before it ever gets to this point of just feeling super high stakes and I'm feeling super uncomfortable in my body and super awkward, I try and introduce some humor into the conversation or whatever the context is as soon as possible. Particularly this thing called thinking out loud humor, which is basically where you're addressing the tension. You're addressing whatever is causing you the stress and anxiety, and you're kind of calling it out in this like funny and self-aware way. So say if I was presenting and I fuck up my words, I could say something like, oh, my brain's still warming up this morning. Just something stupid like that. Or sometimes when I'm really anxious and I'm speaking, I'll start to speak so fast that I can't even keep up with myself, or I'll even like run out of things to say. And I've done this loads. Like I'll just say out of nowhere, oh, like I ran out of things to say. And if you say it with a smile on your face and with positive demeanor, people will take it as a joke, and it always lightens the mood. And you don't have to be a comedic genius, but calling it out, this thing that's causing you stress and anxiety, that's almost like taking the power away from it. And no one expects you to be perfect, but this is like you giving yourself permission to relax, to not have to maintain this facade of being so perfect, to almost own your mistakes. And I found this to be very effective, so I'd highly recommend that you try that. So I just want to end this video by saying that even though I found ways of addressing it that I've shared with you in this video, those feelings of stiffness and awkwardness and feeling uncomfortable in my own body, I still experience those quite regularly. And a lot of people beat themselves up for feeling like that, but honestly, it's just completely normal. That's something that everyone goes through, and it's okay. Like that is your body's way of telling you you're outside of your comfort zone, but that is exactly where you should be. Like that sounds cliche, but that is where the most growth happens. So just keep it up, man. So that is all from me today, bro. I'll see you in the next one.